You are now watching On Point, a news and public affairs show from California State University, Northridge.
Welcome to On Point. I'm your host, Queiroz. Today, we will take a close look at how Halloween can be both expensive and dangerous. Candy might be an addicting treat for the Halloween season, but it also brings a lot of health concerns. According to the CDC, excessive sugar consumption can lead to heart disease, obesity, and diabetes. Along with those concerns, there is also a warning for fentanyl-laced candies that are disguised as normal candy. The CDC revealed that in 2021, over 100,000 citizens alone died for drug overdose due to these candies. And what about the costumes? Well, those are also affected by the Halloween craze. According to the National Retail Federation, Americans are expected to spend over $12 billion on Halloween, a record high. And 87% of consumers spend money on Halloween alone. Halloween is scary, but its prices and safety are looking even scarier. If you're looking for something spooky this Halloween, you just have to check out the prices and look at what people are getting on their candy buckets. Now let's welcome our guest here with us today, Jenny DeClue, a parent of 2 kids. And tell me, Jenny, are there any special Halloween activities and that you and your family are engaged in?
Yes, we actually love to decorate and throw Halloween-themed parties and dressing up, and also going out trick-or-treating.
Perfect. And in the trick-or-treating activities, do you usually follow your kids? You go with them, or just them alone?
Yeah, sometimes I stay home. They're old enough now where they can go off on their own, and I love the neighborhood we live in, and I feel safe. So.
And have you ever heard about any situations where illicit drugs were found between Halloween candies?
Not personally. I've only heard on the news of things like that happening, but personally never experienced.
And do you think that it's necessary for parents to be more vigilant regarding the Halloween candies nowadays?
I think it's important just to look anyways, not necessarily for drugs. Realistically, I don't think people are giving away free drugs. My opinion is drugs are really expensive, so to give them out for free is weird. But I would still look at candy in regards to contamination. That happens alone in the warehouse. They go through tumblers, they get unwrapped, and they're just stumbling through dust and maybe bugs and germs. That is more concerning, I think. And if you are scared, depending on the neighborhood, maybe pick a safer neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting point, yes. And what do you do to make sure that the candies that your children receive are actually safe?
So there's a couple different ways. Each house inspect the candy that recently went in, because it'll be easier to find. And then at home, just sort through it. I mean, kids have their favorite candies and want to look through those anyways. And then along the way, you'll see if any have been tampered with.
And how do you approach this topic of Halloween candies concern with your children? Do you talk about the topic, or even to how can they see through the candies if there is a danger or no?
Yeah, we always have a reminder, hey, check your candy, make sure it's not opened. And actually one of my sons prefers to throw away all lollipops just because those are easily unwrapped, and also doesn't seem to care for suckers. So he just throws those away. So.
And do you have any advice for parents to how to keep their children safe during this trick-or-treating season?
Yeah, just go to neighborhoods that are the most busy and well lit.
Mm-hmm. Do you check the neighborhood first, or you just your family go when you already know?
I definitely want to go to a neighborhood that I'm familiar with. Luckily, my neighborhood is really great, so I don't have to look very far, and I feel very comfortable letting them also go alone. But yeah.
And during the trick-or-treating, does the parents they ask for you about the candies when you are giving the candies for the children? The parents ask about the safety or no?
No, I've never had that. I always have an option of free grab. So I let the kids grab a handful from the bucket, and everybody always just seems so excited to do that.
Mm-hmm. That's an awesome thought, and thank you for sharing. Mm-hmm. And we are going to a package. Before we started, our reporter Mark Monroy will discuss the rising epidemic of fentanyl-laced candy. It's on you, Mark.
You know, we always want to say, not my kid, it's not going to happen to my kid, it's not going to happen in this town, look where we live.
Words that describe a town that may not seem like a place where the highest number of deaths of fentanyl are located in LA County, but it's a reality which has plagued the youth of local school districts. Instead of fentanyl being laced in our over-the-counter drugs, it's now being presented in a more colorful way.
I mean, we got candied-looking fentanyl pills out there. We got fentanyl that looks like Skittles.
When kids take to the streets of the orange-felt fall to experience moments of childhood memory forming, parents will now have to look out for what could possibly be in store for them.
Now, all this begs a question. Can you tell the difference between what's in my left hand or what's in my right hand? Now, the answer to that question presents a problem for Halloween.
Caution says the similar-looking packaging and consistency of the actual candy serves as a threat, and kids won't be able to tell the difference between what's fun and what's fatal.
They look like them. Not sorry, so we really got to look at the candy, the packages that the candy's in, and be aware of what's going on with it right now, because just one oops and we could lose children.
While there have been no reported drug-related deaths during Halloween, deputies and board president for the Hart District, Joe Messina, are still warning parents to be cautious.
You love the candy, you want to be out with your friends, I know you want to have a good time. Just do me a favor, bring the candy home first. Let's take a quick look at it. You can have all the stuff that's in real packages. If you want to take a chomp on something while you're out there, Snickers bar, whatever, as long as it's in a package, go for it. But please don't eat any of the other candy that somebody could open or looks like it's been opened until you get home.
For On Point, Mark Monroy.
Thank you, Mark. So, Jenny, we saw that it's an issue about the fentanyl laced between Halloween candies. What do you think we can do for protect our children regarding this issue nowadays?
Honestly, I would stick to going to familiar neighborhoods, people who you know. It's better not to venture out too far to places that are unfamiliar and dark and not too many trick-or-treaters out. So I would think for safety, just stick to familiar areas.
We also saw about the packages. The candies, they actually are the same. They look the same. Do you think we can, parents with the children, they can examine together? Let's see through all the candies together. And do you think that it's possible? It's safe? It's safe?
I think they're easily. I think you can definitely tell them apart. If we're talking about like marijuana gummies, things of that, the packaging will have extra things on it, such as marijuana plant leaves, versus like a normal Skittles, it doesn't have that. So that will show you right away that it's a THC edible. Also, when you unwrap the candy and you just unwrap it alone, you get a big smell of the THC. You can't miss that smell. And to kids, it might smell like something is bad with the candy. So it's not, I don't think it could be mistaken by just eating it because it already has an odor and a taste.
That's an awesome thought that you put. Thank you. And we are going to back to this topic in a minute, but when we come back, we will continue our discussion about illicit drugs between Halloween candies. Stay tuned. This is On Point.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Got a new house. place that I call home.
Welcome back to On Point. I'm your host, Queiroz, and today we are here with Janie. Thank you, Janie, to be here. And coming back with our discussion about drugs, illicit drugs between Halloween candies. You were saying about the package not being the most issue, about we can see what is actually wrong with the candy. And what about kids who started eating the candies between one house and another, like during the trick-or-treating?
Yeah, so if you trust your kids enough to go out alone, have a talk with them. Say it's best not to have a candy. Try to hold back on having that snack, or give them a snack before they go trick-or-treating, so they are not tempted to eat what's being put in. Or if you're with your kids, examine the piece of candy before you give it to them to eat.
And have you ever discussed with your kids about the importance to report unusual and different candy to you? What do you do after the trick-or-treating? You all sit together and see and go through the candies, or no?
Oh yeah, we have a tradition, so we come home after trick-or-treating and the kids are super excited to see what they do. So they just dump it out on the floor and they sort through what they like and don't like into piles. And then as they're doing that, they're checking for opened packages.
Parents who don't usually do this with their children's, what are the precautions that they can do before and after trick-or-treating?
I'm not sure. That's a tricky question. I'm sorry.
It's okay. And are there any creative ways to communicate with children about this issue of illicit drugs between candies?
Just stick to the rule of not going through it alone. Just always wait for an adult, a parent or an older sibling to help you just go through it.
Okay, that's an awesome point. Thank you. And last week, our reporter Carolina Tello had the opportunity to chat with some customers at a local Halloween store about how prices and candies and costumes are just as expensive as buying gas.
This spooky season might just kill your wallets. As inflation increases and gas prices surge, Americans are paying more not just for goods and services, but with Halloween just around the corner, candy and costumes are costing you more too. Data from the National Retail Federation shows this year, Halloween spending is expected to surpass pre-pandemic levels. Consumer spending is expected to reach over $12 billion for Halloween candy, costumes, and decorations. Not only is inflation to blame for the rising cost of goods, but due to extreme weather, the global sugar supply is down, causing candy prices to blow up. A majority of Halloween spending is also seen in costumes, and based on the NRF, costumes are expected to bring in $4 billion of revenue. I spoke with two customers who shared their feelings on the matter.
I think a lot of companies are trying to capitalize nowadays because they know it's, kids are always going to want to dress up, parents are always going to accommodate, and it sucks. As long as they don't hike it up too much, it's fine with me. But if I do see some places where they double or triple the price, and that's kind of ridiculous.
I think it's best to do a combination, because then you can customize it instead of having to buy in manufactured. Plus, it's also more fun to build up the anticipation of the holiday.
Ways to save more if you're expecting trick-or-treaters this year is buying in bulk. At places like Costco and Walmart, you can buy bigger bags for a cheaper price. If you're planning to wear a costume this year, try DIYing, thrifting, or waiting until the last minute to buy your costume, which could save you a few bucks. From Northridge, I'm Carolina Tello.
Thank you, Carolina. So, Jenny, do you think this Halloween season is more expensive than the last Halloween season?
Probably a little bit more. Shopping, I'm getting a head start, so it's a lot nicer if you purchase a little bag of candy, like maybe every week instead of all at once. So I think that's a better idea of how to shop for candy to make it not so overwhelming and just one big bulk buy. Just buy it a little bit here and there before.
That's a good advice. And how do you feel about the rising costs on Halloween candies, costumes, and decorations? That it's a lot, right?
Oh yeah, that's it's unfortunate. shouldn't happen. It's all about fun, but you know what? We're also in a time where social media is huge, and we have these influencers making at-home things, and they make it very easy to replicate store-bought costumes. So I really enjoy watching that.
And do you think that costumes, homemade costumes, or doing it yourself with the kids, it's a solution?
Absolutely. Actually, I think they're a lot better than store-bought ones. They look better quality because we spend the time using, not cheap materials that they sell in the packages, and you're creating memories with your kids building the costume at home.
And how do you think we can approach this topic with kids, like to cut the costs, the rising costs on Halloween costumes and decoration? Do you think they could be happier with the DIY costumes, with they putting their effort to build a costume?
Oh yeah, I think they would be more excited making their own, because that's quality time with their parents, which kids and parents want. They want more time together in creating these memories.
And do you think that trending movies and series like Super Mario Bros. And Wednesday, the series, and Barbie, they actually help to increase the prices on costumes?
Oh, I've not looked into that.
And do you think costumes can also bring safety concern about if a kid dressed up as a killer? Or
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think if you see a child dressed as something, you're going to notice it's a kid and it's on Halloween, so I wouldn't worry.
It's perfect. And how do you manage your budget about costumes, decorations, and to get a fun Halloween and enjoyable for the kids?
Yeah, so me and my kids, we get super excited for Halloween, so we're already talking about it in like September and even August. So we're already talking about ideas of what we're going to be, and when we go out shopping, we just start to slowly pick out items till Halloween, until it's finally completed.
Okay, an awesome point. And after we come back, we're going to continue to discuss this topic, and stay tuned.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving. I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
I tell my son, I love you every single day.
Thanks for continuing watching On Point. I'm your host, Queiroz. We reached out to several medical professionals to discuss health during Halloween, but we received no response. However, our reporter, Miriam Frutos, had the opportunity to talk with a nursing student to discuss taking care of our health during the Halloween season.
Halloween is a holiday enjoyed by both kids and adults. Earlier this month, stores began stocking up shelves with Halloween essentials like candy. According to Statista, in 2022, Americans spent just over $3 million on Halloween candy. More candy purchases means more treats for trick-or-treaters. Eddie Lucas, parent of 3, explains how he deals with the overflow of Halloween candy.
Most of the candy that we get, we actually give it away. We don't let them keep everything, just let them keep a few, and usually inspect them, because nowadays you hear a lot of things about drugs being in them or just candy that's not good.
Statistics show that kids can consume up to 7,000 calories on Halloween. Each piece of candy can range between 10 to 25 grams of sugar. Daniel Medina, a nursing student, tells us his thoughts on the Halloween candy sugar intake.
Candy is about maybe 200 calories, so if you eat 10 pieces of candy, that's 2,000 calories. That's basically the equivalent of your calories throughout the whole day. So I would say that is a lot, yeah, maybe 1, and then after that be about it.
Children'sHealth.com offers 5 ways to control sugar intake this Halloween, like setting limits on how much candy kids can eat, encouraging healthy eating with themed snacks and meals, swapping candy for small toys and prizes. Halloween is a beloved tradition, but candy, like any other sweets, should be consumed in moderation. Miriam Frutos, Burbank, California, On Point.
Thank you, Miriam. So, Jenny, what are your concerns about the health implications of excessive consumption of sugar on this Halloween?
Oh, well, I actually recently saw a neat video where they're doing with their kids. They let them pick out like 5 of their favorite candies to keep, and they do a trick or trade. So they leave all of their candy in their basket and leave it on the front porch, and a toy appears the next day. So that is an incentive for the kids to give up all that candy for a really fun toy that they would like.
That's amazing. And do you usually do this with your children?
No, actually my kids don't have much of a sweet tooth. They're, fortunately for me, they're very healthy eaters. So that's not a problem for me.
It's good, but they every time that they go trick-or-treating, they receive a lot of candies.
Yes, they do.
And what are strategies do you use to balance the enjoyment with sugar, with the candies, and also with health options?
Yeah, they just keep it not in their room, keep it in the pantry or in the freezer, so it's not so tempting for them to have. Just keep it away.
And do you think there are any creative solutions for health options besides candy?
Yeah, again, like trade them for a toy. Tell them, say, oh, let's do a trade, or like if they're small enough, play like the Tooth Fairy game. Like, let's see what the Tooth Fairy will bring you for all these toys. Does that sound fun? And I think they'll be like, yeah, let's get that fun toy instead.
And we discussed about homemade costumes. What about homemade candies? Do you think this could be a solution for excessive sugar consuming in this Halloween?
I personally wouldn't opt for homemade candy at other people's homes. We just don't know what their cleanliness, if they have pets, kids have allergies as well, and so it can be dangerous to have just allergies alone, to have candy from other people because you don't know what's being put into it.
Mm-hmm. And what about you're doing just with in your home with your children for yourself?
Oh yeah, absolutely. At home with the kids, you know what you're putting into it, so that would be fun for them too.
Are you familiar with some stories that kids are consuming a lot of sugar and not getting health options for this Halloween?
No, I haven't heard too much on that, so I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. And your kids, they usually they talk to you about how many candies they can get, or it's just a natural thing?
Yeah, that's not an issue in our house. Honestly, I'm the one who eats more candy than my kids.
Okay, we will continue our discussion about Halloween prices and how can be dangerous and expensive. So stay tuned. You're watching On Point. Welcome back to On Point. I'm your host, Queiroz, and today we are here with Janie. And Janie, coming back now with our discussion on Halloween prices, how Halloween has impacted you personally about Halloween prices and costumes and decoration?
Yeah, so I've seen prices fluctuate through the years. Me as a child, we did not have a lot of money growing up, so my parents had to be creative and help us build our costumes, which was a beautiful memory I have as a little girl, is creating that costume with my mom. So there was one time where I really wanted to be a vampire, so I dressed up all in black, and as for my cape, I just used a black garbage bag. I didn't care. I was making it with my mom, and I had so much fun twirling my cape.
So creativity is really important for these solutions on this Halloween. Are you bringing this creativity with your children nowadays?
Yes, because they don't really care about how much the costume costs. It's about the memories and the creativity behind it and being unique. So when you're out there, you're not going to look like 5 or 10 other kids out there. You're going to look different, and you're going for the same thing, but it's unique.
Can you have to set a budget for your Halloween?
Absolutely. I think making your own speaks more. The money is gone. Once you buy those flimsy costumes, they rip within that same night, and you spend all that money, versus when you're making it at home, you're having quality clothing. You can go to thrift shops, which I have done before. Just save your money for more fun things, trips with your kids. Don't waste it on the store-bought box costumes. Build it at home with your family.
And you said that you had a beautiful memory with your mom and building your own costume. Do you think that parents nowadays can try to do that with their children to build more beautiful memories?
Yes, and so because I have that memory with my mom making them, now I have those with my kids. And as I got older, I got better at making my costumes. So sometime when I was older in my teen years, I wanted to be a scarecrow. And then so I'm like, okay, flannel shirt, ripped old jeans or overalls, and then just get some straw and stuff it in everywhere. And you do a cute little pigtails and make your freckles. That's, I think, the only money you're having to spend on is the hay, which is you can usually buy at the Dollar Tree.
That's amazing. Your children, they usually they ask for you to build their own costumes?
Yes, that creativity has fortunately passed on to them. They get so excited building their own.
So do you think that's important for parents to bring this side to their kids on this Halloween, and not just only for the high prices, but also to build this memory with them?
Absolutely. That's going to go, that's going to last forever, that memory.
And also, not only for costumes, but also for decorations, right?
Right. Oh, yeah, even the decorations you don't have to go to the big stores and buy the big fancy stuff. Actually, the dollar stores are getting so much better with their stuff. You would see one at the dollar store and one at like Walmart, Target, or Costco, and it looks very close, but you're only spending so much less.
And crafting with the kids is even funnier.
It is. Because again, you're creating more memories with them, and we're just having fun having snacks and building them at home.
Okay, thank you, Jenny, for your time here with us. It was amazing discussing this with you. So this was our discussing with Halloween prices and the safety. So I'm your host, Queiroz, and this was On Point. Thank you for watching.